But on the other hand, on the way, there were many victims because she did her very best to prevent her friends and the people she'd worked with in Hollywood, on Suits and other places, to talk to me. So I think they thought they could blackmail the royal family.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Exposing SMG. You guys loved part 1 of this video so much, so I'm back today with part 2. Today I will be exposing 5 more crazy bombshells exposed in Tom Bower's new revenge book. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe for more content each week, and follow us on social media where we update often. If you guys want part 3, please let me know in the comments down below. And now, here are 5 more crazy bombshells exposed in Tom Bower's revenge book. Number 1. Meghan's obsession with her image and how she lived through her on-screen character, Rachel Zane, on the show Suits. Tom writes that Meghan suffered a lot from being envious of other women's wealth, looks, and overall success. He said that what could have been characterized as ambition in one part of her life manifested as jealousy as she got older, and that envy colored so much of her life. Tom also writes that she had little patience for other people's values, and that in Meghan's world, she would simply just get angry if someone didn't agree with her. That was something that was prevalent in her days as a working senior royal, considering she didn't understand the traditions and values of the family that she was marrying into, and instead of compromising or even doing things their way, she threw fits, which are something that we've seen in many reports throughout the years. One thing that I found super interesting in how Meghan started finding herself was how she started living vicariously through her on-screen character, Rachel Zane. In Meghan's head, what Rachel Zane represented was equal to what Meghan Markle represented. Most celebrities don't like being equated with their on-screen character, but in the case of Meghan, that was all she had, to the point where if Rachel Zane suffered a scandal, so did Meghan Markle. Image was something that occupied her mind like crazy. She believed that she was on the brink of being an international celebrity, and so she became heavily invested in her character Rachel Zane. Aaron Korsh, the producer for Suits, had a vision for Zane which Meghan soaked up. Tom describes Rachel Zane as a feisty opportunist with extraordinary manipulative skills. Something else that Aaron Korsh did was include Meghan's real-life interest in the script. Rachel Zane became a foodie just as Meghan blogged about food on her Instagram and blog, The Tig. Aaron took what Meghan wanted or didn't want and incorporated it into the script. Now this is about to get juicy, so bear with me. Rachel Zane's character started becoming known for her sense of style because Jolie Andrada, the series' costume designer, dressed Meghan in well-known big fashion names such as Dior, Prada, and Burberry. That opened up Meghan into the world of fashion, where she also tried to make a name for herself. Meghan even credits Jolie Andrada for influencing what she understood about fashion and the importance of an outfit. Interestingly enough, Jolie actually says in an interview that Meghan was not her favorite actress to dress. Tom also writes that because Meghan is so image-obsessed, anything critical alarmed her. Sometime when the show was still airing, she read that viewers didn't like that her character was going to be involved in an affair, and she was scared that she would be personally blamed for that. Because in the head of Meghan Markle, if Rachel Zane suffered a scandal, so did Meghan Markle. And she did not want to be known as an unfaithful woman. So what did she do? She made Aaron Korsh end the storyline, and he agreed. Later on, Meghan claimed that she didn't read any press, and she didn't even read any press for Suits. Sure. Number 2. Princess Diana's family didn't think Meghan would fit in with the royal family. I've talked a lot about Meghan's obsession with Diana on this channel, and most people who don't know anything about Meghan just see her getting hate and just assume that Diana's hardships are Meghan's. But who's more qualified to disprove of this theory than Diana's own blood? Tom writes that when Harry introduced Meghan to Diana's 2 sisters, Jane and Sarah, and her best friend Julia Samuel, he believed that they would see the similarities to both Diana and Meghan the way he so foolishly did. Why? He believed that both his mom and Meghan shared the same problems. There is just so much wrong with that statement. Tom writes that Harry was disappointed when no one saw the similarities and that they didn't agree that his vulnerable mother had anything in common with his actress girlfriend. They also thought that Meghan wouldn't fit in with his family. That should have been red flag number 1, but nope, Harry got mad instead. It's funny because it has been told that his family also had their concerns about Meghan not fitting in, especially William, who in the first video we talked about how he believed that Meghan was a divisive agent. But they were just written off as people who didn't want him to be happy, or people felt that they were racist or whatever. But it's interesting that Diana's direct blood still couldn't convince him otherwise. Diana's sisters didn't say much according to Tom, but it was her brother, Charles Spencer, who represented them by actually voicing his concerns. Spencer advised Harry that he should reconsider how fast they were going to get married, but instead, they got a bitter reaction from Harry. Number 3. Meghan was still living with her Canadian ex-boyfriend, Cory Vitello, when she was set up to meet Harry. Ooh, now this one is juicy. Before I start, let me just link my article that goes in depth on the relationship between Meghan and Cory and how she kinda did the same thing to her first husband Trevor when she met Cory. Oh, how history repeats. So Tom kinda confirmed these suspicions by saying that Meghan was still living with Cory when she was on her first date with Harry. I mean, come on guys, someone had to pay the rent while she hunted her next man. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Meghan was also introduced to many of the key players in the Canadian world of celebrity through Cory, including Jessica Mulroney, who would later become one of her closest friends. By the summer of 2016, Meghan and Cory's relationship had reportedly run its course, with Tom writing that Meghan sought a new romance on her planned visit to Britain, where she was considering moving. In Britain, Meghan and Harry were reportedly set up on a date by a high society publicist for Ralph Lauren, who dressed Meghan for 2 appearances at Wimbledon during her stay. Tom also identified the matchmaker as Violet von Westenholz, the daughter of a close friend of Prince Charles and a childhood playmate of William and Harry. Tom writes that Meghan, using her empathetic manner, persuaded Violet, a sensitive soul, to arrange a blind date with Harry. Harry and Meghan bonded during the date over their shared passion for humanitarian work and philanthropy, as they discussed in their engagement interview a year later. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that Meghan cheated on Cory to get a man higher up on the food chain? Let me know. Number 4. Erasing her past for a calculative rebrand. One of the chapters of the book is called Exposed, which I gotta say is quite on brand for my channel, so of course I was intrigued by this chapter. Tom wrote about how Meghan didn't like spontaneity and liked to control every aspect of her life. Considering she started dating Harry in 2016, her most famous work to date, she had to make sure that the past was accounted for, starting with her Wikipedia page. On October 9th, 2016, a PR agency in Los Angeles was hired to start editing her Wikipedia page, starting with removing her Deal or No Deal reference and how she was the girl who carried case number 24. Her references about being a fashion model were also deleted, and instead, an entire section called Humanitarian Work was added. That highlighted her visits to Rwanda and Afghanistan, as well as her speech for the United Nations Women and her blog, The Tig. After those edits, 2 weeks later, she announced the end of her acting and commercial career. Then, on October 22nd, she and Harry attended a Halloween party at Soho House, which she mentioned when she was interviewed on Ellen, basically saying that it was their last time out together, just having fun before people knew who they were, and blah blah. She wanted to emphasize that she just wanted fun and not the attention that came with dating a literal prince. The night before, Meghan posted a photo of herself on Instagram holding a pumpkin. At this point, it was rumored that they were dating, and if you guys remember in my last video, we talked about how she made Harry release a statement in November 2016 about all the hate that she was receiving, so people already knew that they were dating, and she wanted to tease that. That was conveniently left out when she discussed how low-key she wanted to be on Ellen. Tom wrote that most people at the party were in no doubt that Meghan was outing Harry because she wanted the relationship to be publicized. The Sunday Express then posted about how they attended the party together on October 30th, and because of that, Harry ended up leaving Meghan's house in Toronto before the journalists arrived. The palace later confirmed it by saying that the story has a ring of truth, and Meghan ended up coming out of her house, smiling at a crowd of photographers, and drove to the Suits studio. She then posted more photos of herself on the TIG, where she was seen posing in London, and more specifically, photos showing that she and Harry were wearing identical bracelets. It seemed like Meghan enjoyed the jigsaw puzzle she was giving to people to solve. What do you guys think? Number 5. Harry asked about Meghan's appearance before meeting her. So as I already said earlier in the video, the childhood friend who hooked him up with Meghan was Violet von Westenholz, and he trusted her judgment. Tom writes that a close friend later said that one question Harry asked very carefully was about Meghan's appearance, and exactly what did Violet mean about Meghan's background. I think this is interesting to note because when on Oprah, Meghan and Harry made it seem like it was racist of the royal family to wonder or ask about how their baby would look like considering his parents' diverse backgrounds. So I'm wondering if Meghan finds Harry's questions about her looks racially motivated the way she felt about the royal family's question. What do you guys think? Now that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know if you want a part 3 to this video as I continue dissecting Tom Bower's incredible revenge book. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to follow us on our social media and be sure to like and subscribe for more content each week. And as always, I'll see you next time.